What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Awesemo.com, filling in for Adam Scherer here, doing the FanDuel NBA slate tournament plays. Looking forward to this one. But first, if you guys haven't signed up over at PrizePicks, now is the time to take advantage of it, because not only do you get $100 first match deposit bonus on your first deposit, but you will also get one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you do so. You simply sign up, deposit, and play, and you'll get every single thing we offer behind the paywall here outside of Fantasy Cruncher, of course, for the low price of $0. So take advantage of that. And let's get to my plays here for FanDuel. Same kind of issue that exists over on DraftKings in terms of having to pick between Jokic and Embiid is amplified on FanDuel because you got to get the right one. If you pick Jokic or you pick Embiid, you could get Andre Drummond going off and have a completely different roster construction, but almost all of my rosters are going to have either Jokic or Embiid. And I think Jokic is still the clear priority for me over on FanDuel. Sure, there's a little bit of negative leverage going his direction as opposed to Embiid. So if that amplifies, if people start really siding with Jokic as the day goes on before lock, maybe I'll find myself on a little bit more Embiid than what I currently would be. But Nikola Jokic for me is just still the clear guy. We have a much larger sample size of him absent Barton, 601 minutes here. We're going to be waiting on Will Barton news. But in the absence of him, 1.95 FanDuel points per minute. I mean, it's a ridiculous kind of number you're looking at in this spot for him. He's been the best fantasy point per minute producer here on the entire season. Joel Embiid has gone completely berserk here with James Harden in their 127 minutes, 2.27 FanDuel points per minute. That's a ridiculous rate, but that is not sustainable. And so I'm going to take the more known commodity in terms of what we have with him going forward. I just find it hard to believe that James Harden isn't going to limit a little bit of the fantasy upside of all of these guys on the Sixers going forward. We've already seen how it's affecting Maxey, how it's affecting Tobias Harris. Joel Embiid is probably the least affected, but still, to a certain extent, 2.27 is just not something I see going forward. So I will still be signing with Jokic on FanDuel, just like I did over on DraftKings. All right, now we get into kind of a different situation here. I talked about Will Barton on the DraftKings video. If you want to check out any of my thoughts for that one, head over there. But we're going to be talking about Jeff Green here, because I think the same kind of conundrum that we had with Will Barton over on DK, we might run into over on FanDuel with Jeff Green. All of these guys are questionable. Zeke Naji, Jeff Green, him, and Bones Highland, Barton and Bones Highland. But with Barton, at least on FanDuel, you have Jonathan Kuminga at a small forward spot where he's $200 more. And then if you needed to get down or pay down for a guy, Moses Moody is a shooting guard where you have Barton, the shooting guard, small forward available. Moody's down there at 4,300. Will Barton's 4,900. So you're only leaving 600 on the table there on a 2-game slate. That is not egregious at all. So I'm okay having that be my backup plan for Will Barton. But with Jeff Green, if you end up deciding to play him, he's been a guy who started for this team for the last, I don't know, pretty much the entire season. Jeff Green being the starter there, playing low 30s minutes. If he does go in this kind of a spot, it is a personal issue that he's dealing with, so it's not an injury. So if he ends up playing at 3,900, awesome. But if he doesn't, you might have to play Davon Reed at 3,600, who did get the start yesterday, played 22 minutes, but is just a terrible fantasy point per minute player. That's at the small forward position, and at shooting guard, there is just nothing. And I do mean nothing down there. At the power forwards position, another spot for Jeff Green, just nothing that I really want to be playing. Bielitsa would be like the absolute emergency play. Without Otto Porter, he's gaining a little bit of traction already at 25%. I'm looking to avoid that a little bit more. I think 3,900 for Jeff Green. If he doesn't play, you might be running into that Bielitsa play more than you would definitely like, more than I would like. So somebody that I think has some positive leverage in the boom bust tool as it stands right now. I would be looking to get overweight on FanDuel, especially if we do not have that news before Brooklyn and Philadelphia tip off. All right, and my last guy for FanDuel, mixing it up a little bit. I talked about him slightly on the DraftKings tournament video, but we're going to talk about Jordan Poole here in this section for the FanDuel play. He is an absolute smash over here, even at 6,300, which sounds ridiculous, but no Otto Porter in the lineup today. Yeah, is he going to have to contest for usage with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, all of these guys? Sure is, but there's more minutes up for grabs. He got to 30 minutes in the absence of Otto Porter the other day, and now we're looking at a spot where that is kind of the guaranteed workload again that you're kind of finding. He is currently the second highest leverage play that we have in the boom bust tool at 12.1%, 16.7% for the aforementioned Will Barton. mainly because that price is much lower than it is on DraftKings. He's 4,900 on FanDuel, but at 6,300 for Jordan Poole, it might seem like a little bit of an overpay, but he runs that second unit. He is going to have the opportunity to at least get things going offensively there, and that is why we are seeing an optimal appearance rate for him of 39.7%. That is one of the largest you're going to have here on the slate. It's top 10, which for Jordan Poole at 6,300, you just wouldn't expect. So for him to be as positively leveraged as he is very surprising. Somebody that I want to overinvest in here in this spot. Maybe leave a little bit of Tobias Harris out here compared to how much I have over on DraftKings, just because on FanDuel, he's already gaining a lot of traction. So wanted to talk about one other piece. Let me know below what you think about my FanDuel plays. I'm prioritizing Jokic between him and Embiid. Talked a little bit about Jeff Green and some of the injury situation here from Denver. And Jordan Poole, a guy that's my favorite tournament play over on FanDuel. No matter what news arises, let me know what else you think, who you think the difference maker might be on this 2-game slate. I'm Eric Lindquist. Don't forget to check out Prize Picks, and best of luck tonight.